Libra, you have an energy of preparation around you. I feel like you're preparing to make a bold move. There's something daring that you're about to do. You're daring to move in a way that you haven't really considered up to this point. You've been looking a lot at how you've been investing your time and energy, what you've been investing your time and energy in, and whether or not your time and energy is being appreciated, valued, reciprocated, and you're starting to recognize that there's a real inequity there. I think there are times in the past where you gave more of yourself than you should have, and that was a sabotaging influence. And you're starting to really redress this balance. You've been doing a lot of heavy lifting in terms of your emotional healing, your spiritual healing, and you're starting to value your time and energy more. And as a result of this, you're beginning to align with a new sense of vision, what's important to you, what you want to invest in moving forward. And this is something that you're nurturing. You're nurturing this in concealment. You're nurturing this in the dark. This is something that is really at a point of getting ready to break through the ground of your being. But up until now, it's just been something that has been seeded within you, something that's been germinating there. But I do feel the moment to take action is coming pretty soon, where you're going to make a move that other people may feel is really out of left field, like they didn't see you doing this, they didn't see you taking this action. And yet I feel like it's something that has been laid on a proper foundation. There's been a lot of looking at this situation from all angles, lots of sorting through what feels like was a real rough hand of fate, where you had to look at some past actions and the way that influenced how your path unfolded before you. Yeah, I think that there were some real disillusioning experiences. Things that were hidden were revealed to you. And as a direct result, you really started to think about what you wanted to lay the foundation for in your future. You started to make some changes. But again, there's a sense of being disillusioned by how certain situations turned out, and using that as fuel for your fire to transform the foundation that you build your life upon moving forward here. And you've definitely employed some kind of plan of action. There's something you're working on here, but you're not kind of up and out with it. There's not fanfare around this. This is a quiet internal process, but it's about to become evident and daring when you take a particular action here. All right, let's see what this is, Libra. We're looking at this from both a shadow aspect and what's been alchemized, what's been transformed. I got my mixed deck here. Also, we're kind of looking at what's getting initiated with this lunar cycle that leads up to the blue moon in Sagittarius to close out the month of May. But these energies can play out over time. Yeah, the basis of the matter, you see. There was something at one point that was quite disillusioning for you. There was also a lot of unconscious motivations, unconscious aspects, things that were hidden at play. And those things were brought to light for you. But this was an initiatory process for you. And I do feel like you had to tap into your intuition quite a bit in navigating this territory. I also feel like you had to do a lot of deep integrative work where you had to look at stuff that had been hanging out in your root cellar for quite some time. But with the moon now coming out in the light, there is something that has been transformed here. Where you once had a blind spot, something was seen. Where there was an element that was working against you, it got lit up for you. There could have been a Pisces connected to your situation as well. Also, this was the closing out of a pretty intense karmic cycle, right? That something has been completed. I feel you freed yourself from a karmic loop, and that allows you to move forward in a bold new way. But there's one last thing to sort of like tie up here, I feel, close off. Isn't that interesting? One last thing. I mean, I can't make it up. One last thing to tie up, and the hangman comes out. Wow. Yeah. You're trading places here. You're not the one who's hung up anymore. You had the illumination, like something's been made clear for you. It may seem like you're not going much of anywhere, but you're already far ahead. You're already down the line, down the road. You know, there's something you see clearly here about your trajectory, and you know the work to be done. There's a lot of transformational energy in play here. Also, this could have something to do with transforming your work life in some way, or how you want to invest your energy, what works for you, what are working arrangements, relationships. And this could even be devoting yourself to your craft and really getting focused about what is the right pathway for you in relation to that. You're also wanting to do work that is really meaningful to you and really connecting with what that looks like. See, there's some action you're about to take here with the Ace of Wands. There is action that's needed to transform your situation, but I feel where you may have been in this place where there wasn't forward progression, or you were in a little bit of a holding pattern, it's because the correct path needed to be lit up for you. And I think that's starting to become clear for you. Also, this is the culmination of the work of moving through that initiatory gateway of the 12th house and completing this karmic cycle. So soon it's going to be time to get to work. All right, let's see what's coming in here. More details, please. For Libra, what is coming in for Libra? Wow. Wheel of Fortune, transformation. So you're getting to a higher rung of the spiral here. This is good. There was something that you needed to resolve, something that was a bit of a mystery to you. But I feel like you've retrieved that truth, and as a result, you transformed. And you released this influence that was having the Wheel of Fortune move counterclockwise. It's something that wouldn't really allow you to progress. It kind of kept taking you back, holding you up. But you learned a lot through the process and facing those challenges. Something seemed really fixed, felt like it was held in place for a while. You didn't know how to kind of like crack the code. What do I need to do to transform this situation? Well, here it comes. You're finally going to free yourself from what was holding you back, and now you're figuring out what really works, what gives you the momentum you need. And as a result, you're experiencing transformation here, a turning of fortune. This is when that rough hand of fate turns into the stuff of your destiny. So you could have also had a Taurus, Aquarius, Scorpio, or Leo in the mix, as well as Sagittarius here, but something is absolutely transforming your situation. And look at that, the road opens. Brand new beginning for you. Brand new beginning for you. And again, see, there's some risk you're taking. You're taking a leap of faith. It opens the road for you, brand new adventure. You're doing something in a new way, in a daring sort of way. Don't have any baggage you're carrying forward with you. When you go to take this action, there may be some who caution you, okay? They may feel like you should play it safe. Not at all. I don't think this is something reckless you're doing. This is something that is informed by a lot of simply sitting with what is how it's coming through. You have an accurate view of the situation. This is a conscious risk you're taking. It's not reckless, okay? And whatever it is, it works. It works. In terms of your work, I feel like it also transforms your financial reality. Okay, this pays, yes, it oh my gosh, look at this. Wow. I heard vindication, retribution. Look at that. See, you were held up. There was some growth that was held up for you. And there was a lot of conflict around this. There was a lot of obstacles. There was a lot of struggles. There could have been group opposition too. There could have been a lot of outside interference, a lot of blockages coming your way. I could also just see this as multiple obstacles that you kept butting up your head against, you know? And it was keeping you in a phase of, for a while, stagnancy, you know, not seeing the kind of progress you wanted to see. But see, this is what's transforming. But it's not just a freeing up of material progress, a freeing up of assets, growth that is long overdue finally coming in. It had to come through this lighting up what was operating on a subconscious level. And to me, it's really coming through as valuing your time, your energy more, and taking the risk to actually act on that knowledge of the value of your time and energy. And sometimes that can be, you know, a little nerve-wracking, especially if people are more accustomed to you over-giving, you know, or making accommodations. When you move into the energy of saying, no, you know, I'm going to value myself. And maybe initially that looks a little bit like a loss. There's opportunities I miss out on. Maybe I do experience a little bit of financial setback, but I recognize that what I'm giving is not really being reciprocated in terms of the appreciation I receive as a result, in whatever dynamic you were finding this. And you may have been a little worried about that initially. Is this going to cause a lot of disruption? Is this going to cause conflict? It may have. You may have dealt with some conflict as you started to really value your time and energy and said, no, I don't want to do that. No, that's not right for me. It may have caused you to kind of experience a little bit of taking a couple steps forward and then one step back, you know, not really progressing and kind of staying in the same space. But I see you're overcoming these challenges, these obstacles, and it has everything to do with your inner growth. And also something you're seeding here, something that you're preparing to invest in that's really going to pay off. It looks like it's coming in very strongly as Pentacles energy. So I do feel like this is something that is transforming your material reality. It's a direct result of your emotional health and your spiritual health, the work that you've done on yourself. Mindset is everything with that shift in your perspective because of what was lit up for you that at one point was operating subconsciously is really changing the way you're moving forward. It also has you believing in yourself a bit more, believing in the value of your own inspirations, your thoughts, your ideas, what you want to set in motion, whatever you're doing here. It's really going to pay off. You're not held back anymore. You're not held back anymore. So I like this energy for you, Libra. This looks really good. You're in a much stronger position now that you let go of that old perspective that you have to bend over backwards in order to get anywhere, or that you have to just be accommodating in order to have some kind of anchoring or stability on your path. I think that grew old real fast, you know, but there's risk involved in that, certainly, especially in relation to work with the current environment, right? Everything that's going on in the world, it's a bit risky to turn down opportunities or say, no, I can't go for that. No can do. Yeah, no, you can't have my soul, man. You can't have my soul. You want my body? Now you want my soul? No, we're going to say no go to that. Yeah, and this could have been with somebody that was a really controlling influence too. Somebody who wanted to control how much you could progress. With the King of Wands energy here, that is a real limiting force. Maybe somebody felt like you had to do things their way, my way or the highway. And instead of running up against that opposition and battling it out with somebody, you just quietly, quietly worked on yourself. You did more of your moves internally than externally. And it may have seemed like you weren't doing much of anything, but so much got seated there as you were really integrating these dynamics and arriving at a place of valuing your time and energy more. There's things you've been developing, there's things you've been working on behind the scenes. And yeah, coming in at 16 on the clock, it may be shocking to some. It may be an awakening moment for some when they see the way you move forward here. But it does look like there was a real controlling influence here that was affecting your ability to progress. Fire sign energy coming in there. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Bottom of the deck. So you had to move a little stealth. You had to put a little strategy in play. And this is that daring spirit I'm talking about. And I feel it's also like this King of Wands energy. It does remind me of how we have Neptune and Saturn currently hanging out in Aries. We also got Chiron in Aries. So see, you've been doing all that deep healing work. You've been working on yourself, reflecting on yourself. You've done the inner work, and as a result, something's been transformed here. You're not wasting time anymore. You're not wasting energy anymore. And I feel that you've been seeding those dreams, working with your fire, building the fire in the dark. It's not something that's grown enough yet to gain visibility, but it will when you make this move. You're about to take action. I really see this. But it overrides a controlling, limiting force. King of Wands comes in with real strong Leo energy, okay? And we did see with the Wheel of Fortune that there could have been a Leo in play that was kind of holding things back. Could have been past influence too. Leo for me always evokes strength relating to past circumstances. And we see on that strength card, there is the influence of the Empress tempering the lion, So the Empress is your energy, Libra. So there could be a piece there too. This could have been past influence. Yeah, it could have been a conflict that was related to the past. It also could have been a clashing of wills, between two people, you and another that actually both hold real independent energy here. Could have divided a family, could have divided a group of people that you were connected to at one time, could have divided a household, right? This is all like real tangible stuff though. There's so much Pentacles energy coming out in relation to this. So to me, it feels like your material progress and how you're choosing to invest your energy, what you're looking to build for yourself, what you're looking to create for yourself, and your ability to be able to move forward on your own merit. Like somebody didn't like the way you were moving. They wanted to create problems. They wanted to create holdups. They wanted to create blockages. They wanted you to fall in line with the position they felt you should be in. You didn't agree to that. So you just had to move smarter. You had to move in such a way where you wouldn't experience that resistance. That's what I see. It's a little curveball action here. All right. One more round here. Any further details? I mean, I like this. There's a big turning of fortune here for you. And whatever this is, it pays off for you independently, because 9 of Pentacles is an independent energy. You may have also decided, I don't need to build this with you. I don't need to partner with you on this. I don't need to follow anyone else's guidelines. I don't need to fall in line or do things by any playbook here. I can actually take charge and make my own lane, because see, this is something that is a very independent energy when we look at the Nine of Pentacles. It's also pre-Empress energy. So there is a transformation that's underway here, and it was 2011 on the clock when that came in. So judgment, justice, balance coming in here. Looks really good. Okay, anything else? One final round, then I'm going to do a cut of the deck, and we'll get you a focus here. Positive energy. So you're getting ready to take an action here, and I think it's going to shake things up a bit. But it's also getting you beyond some obstacles that you were facing for quite a while. We've got shadow influence here. Yeah, you've dealt with a lot of delays. You've wanted to see some kind of fulfillment, and you've dealt with a lot of delays. I also think you've dealt with a real lack of fulfillment here, but that's about to change. This is renewal energy coming in because of the action you're taking. And you got all the aces on the table here. But this action, this brings about some kind of renewal on your path. It looks good. You transform all this energy. It ends the delays. You can finally find fulfillment here. It also looks like, you know, you got your finances freeing up. There's traction. There's forward progression here. Really good energy. We also have Gemini coming in here. Sagittarius energy on the board. Leo, Taurus, Scorpio, Aquarius, strong Leo, strong Pisces came out. Okay, all of these energies could be in play in your situation. Whatever this is, looks good. Total transformation here. Let's go ahead and do a cut of the deck to cap this. I think I already did a cut of the deck, and I just did it again. All right, so yeah. Something's been a real heavy burden, but I see it's been transformed because you lit up the subconscious influences that were keeping you oppressed. And because of that, you transform your world. All you see is all there is. And now that you're conscious about the chains and what was holding you back, you finally can turn this around. And you step into the empowerment of the 10th house of Capricorn. And Saturn, Capricorn's ruler, is hanging out there in the first house of Aries. So this is when a dream gets rooted in reality. But man, it came with a price. There's a lot of heavy lifting, a lot of hard work that you did here to make this possible. But it's coming on through. You transformed this. You broke free of a repetitive cycle of horse shit. That's what it looks like. Looks like just a lot of combative energy, possibly from a group of people. The Five of Wands, initially in the shadow. But you took your time in resolving this issue, and it looks good for you. So let's get a focus for you moving forward, Libra. Bottom of the deck, I love it. Yep, you cut those cords, you release those attachments, skull of flowers. Out of what ended, new things come to bloom here. And you are creating through the ashes of what got reduced by the fire test of truth. You don't need anything false coming forward with you. So this is good. Let's get a focus for Libra. Focus for Libra leading up to that blue moon in Sagittarius. Once in a blue moon, you get an opportunity to strike out like this. Strike while the iron's hot. You'll like how it pays off. Let's see what's coming through here for Libra. I'm going to be bold with it. I like it. A bold new action, a bold new path of exploration. This is good. It looks like something you're working on. Something that really pays off, okay? The growth will be evident. Yeah, look at that. You're exploring your wildness with that blue moon. This path is opening up for you, and it's a path less traveled. There's something here. It's like you're just trusting your instincts. And this lets a part of you come to the surface that maybe not a lot of people are acquainted with. Okay, so I like this. Your path is coming in for sure. Pathfinder medicine activated. You're going to know exactly what path you need to invest in here. The road is opening up, and that's very clear. Focus for Libra. Focus for Libra. Keep seeing these kind of like shadowy influences want to come out. No, no, cloak Libra, cloak Libra. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. You've already transformed something. I see that, okay? It looks like the tricky energies, everything that was creating blockages, all these influences are what you kind of got caught up here. So that's out of your way. And this wild path of exploration is opening up to you. And I like this. It's good. Good energy. It's like you're roaming. You're roaming free range here. You're not going to be contained. You're not doing something by the playbook. Interesting. Okay, now, like I said, there is something that's still kind of like germinating here because we got infinite possibilities. You see, there's the full moon energy. You're still hanging out here. It's like you got the focus. You know what you're working on, but you're still kind of bringing the actual execution to a place of fruition with the building of that full moon. And once that gets lit up, I do feel like you will take that action. But where we see infinite possibilities here, I feel like right now you got single pointed focus. And if you don't, that's something you should kind of hone in on. One point of focus. You may have a lot of different ideas. I do feel like with this action you take, it opens up a lot of other opportunities. There's other things that spring off of this. There's other pathways that open. But what's important is that you just focus on this one thing right now, okay? It's good. I feel like whatever action you're taking here, it's securing your north node for you. This action is something that will really bring a lot of happiness, not only to your heart, but to home base as well. You're also really going to find that path that you belong on, and it's warded, okay? You got protection here. So this is wise use of the fire, wise use of your action. I just feel like this is a little bit of biding time before it's revealed, but likely will start to show signs of something shifting with Libra with that full moon. But until then, build the intrigue. Build the intrigue, build the suspense, and just enjoy what you're nurturing here in the dark, because soon the growth will be evident. Godspeed, Libra.